and gentlemen, next is the keynote presentation, and one of the remarkable one, because it will be delivered by the experts of the government sector, the advisory board. The next keyboard presentation is all about policies and regulations on battery swapping, which will be delivered by Shri Sudhendu Sinha ji, who is the advisor, infrastructure, connectivity and electric mobility vertical, NITI Aayog. Let me take a few lines to describe, sir. An alumnus of St. Stephen's College, Delhi, did his major in history. He has experience of over 29 years in operations, infrastructure planning, coordination and management at the field and policy making levels in Indian railways with considerable success and appreciation. His performance has been recognized and awarded twice at the national level and thrice at the ministry level. He has served as Dean of the Indian Railway Institute of Transport Management, Lucknow, and General Manager, Web Applications at the Center for Railway Information Systems. He has training and enrichment from Japan, Railway Management, Malaysia, Singapore, Germany, and the US. Oracle. He is the advisor at the NITI Aayog, National Institution for Transformation of India, the apex think tank of the government of India. Please help me welcoming with a huge round of applause, Shri Sudhendu J. Sinha ji.
At the onset, let me congratulate SMEV Aayera for organizing this wonderful thing on battery swapping. Absolutely relevant, and I must tell you that almost every day this particular topic is taking not less than 2 hours of mine. So like I'm here and there just discussing about it. So as was shown by my predecessor, the last speaker, he has explained to you that how precisely is battery swapping a better system as compared to the fixed one or the removable one, and how it is going to support the proliferation of electric mobility. So let me tell you that we were the ones who floated this concept of battery swapping initially sometimes last year at the fag end, because we wanted it to be included in the core focus, that is the government's budget. And as it happened in the budget, it was announced that especially in the urban areas where the space constraint is a major problem, so there you cannot ask a two-wheeler or a three-wheeler person that he should be waiting for 2 hours, 3 hours, 1.5 hours for top-up charging. He has to get going within a couple of minutes. So that was the idea. And then we also thought that this should also be used, this battery swapping should also be used as a kind of lever to proliferate the vehicles, to support the ecosystem, to take it forward in a big way. There was also the idea that the focus should be on interoperability. And in the same way as we have with our mobiles, where you are not locked to a particular operator, you can change the SIM and you can get to a different operator. So similarly, here we wanted that the person who has purchased the vehicle and wants to go into battery swapping as a service, he should not be locked to one or a few battery manufacturers or OEMs of the vehicle also only. So we wanted to give him kind of absolute freedom. Tomorrow he is transferred in Delhi where he was using the services of a particular OEM or battery operator, and tomorrow he is transferred to some other place where he doesn't exist or some other persons are there, then he should have a choice to shift. Similarly, here also if he is not satisfied with that particular one or set of, battery providers, he should have choice to go elsewhere. This could have been possible if we could provide standards. So if you read the lines are that interoperable standards should be there. And there was also a part that it should be, the swapping policy should also have, should also be suggesting that what business models can be developed so that it takes, it is a financially attractive proposition. So basically now 3-4 themes were there. One was the battery policy. Second was, of course, if you've got a policy and if you want to support it, you have to have some incentives attached to it. Otherwise, the initial thrust may be missing. And as a preface to that, the interoperable standards, and at the end of it, the multiple business models. So these were the four themes that were given to us. The one challenge that was there with the NITI Aayog was that when we are working on it, the process of working must be, it must be transparent, impartial, it should be standardized, it should be scientific, so that nobody can doubt on its authenticity. And we knew it well that NITI Aayog is not a scientific organization. We are into policy stream. So we touch base with the Department of Science and Technology, the highest body, and there the secretary himself was driving it. And then they said that, okay, now let's go ahead with it. And we also wanted always that those who are into this ecosystem, those who are the stakeholders, they should not be left out. They must be connected to it. So kind of we congregated them, some of them directly, some of them indirectly, and we opened up for all the suggestions. Almost 100 partners, more than 100 partners were brought into this stream of developing the standards, identifying and helping us to work out on the draft policy, and so many things. And good number of them gave suggestions in writing also. Many suggestions were verbal and they were considered. We discussed threadbare the merits of it, and then finally it was decided this is the way we should be going ahead with. Now, as it happened, among the standards also we decided that there should be 3 focus areas. One should be the form factor, the external size that is there. The second one was the connectors. Third one was the communication protocol. And so these were taken to be the principal focus areas. And then we came out with, after a lot of deliberations, series of deliberations, started all the way along from, say, back as March, and then now we concluded. And we gave it to Bureau of Indian Standards to come out with specific standard. And they did come out with those standards. But as it happened, we always wanted that each and every player who are a stakeholder into it, who are battery manufacturer, OEMs, they should be on board. They should not be, thinking that this is something that is against them. But there was always a chance that among so many standards which are already, so many sizes which are already there, it could come close to one. That was always there. That could always be a possibility. How much close and how much not close, that could be debated, but it would always be which is the closest one, that could always be there. So somehow that situation was there. Now today's position is that we have finalized the standards in the sense that Bureau of Indian Standards, they have decided on it. Now it is the time when we have to get it released, but yes, before releasing them, we would definitely like to know the views of the industry, especially those who are not on board with it, those who think that, okay, standards should not be there. All those, the elements as it was shown with respect to the safety, efficiency, all those things have been taken care of. So some of the key apprehensions were there that if you standardize the forms, the size, size was a major debatable thing. So if they said that if you standardize the size, then you stifle innovation. So if the size is fixed, then within that fixed size, innovations cannot take place. But we did see that there were, that especially those who were opposing it, they themselves had innovated in their own size, not this size, their size. Over a time span of some 7 to 9 years, they had innovated. So size and efficiency in terms of density, in terms of range, in terms of chemistry, though, that they do not have direct to direct linkage. That is not there. So that was a kind of understanding which we could cover, we could kind of surmount, and we could say that, okay, this is doable, this is possible. The same size. Similarly, we could see that this will be the only method whereby the individual user will not be locked. That interoperability, we never missed out. We never missed it out because we knew it that this specific word has been used in the budget with a purpose, so that the consumer is free from, getting confined to a particular OEM. So this is where we are. And yes, as regard to the GST parity and some of the fiscal incentives, I would say, it is there. Yes, we are game for it. We agree that if vehicle is getting X amount, and tomorrow we go in for the swapping models, naturally the same amount cannot be coming to the vehicle. That amount has to be a shared amount. That is logical, because as of now, today, the vehicle, what we are thinking at is the body as well as the battery. Tomorrow, when it is without battery, then we have to see that, okay, whoever is providing the battery, there should be a kind of, it is logical that he should also be kind of supported. With regard to the rationalization of GST percentage is concerned, let me tell you that all through, since last almost 3 years, all the GST rationalization that has taken place, it has taken place with our incentive, with our initiative. It has been because, when you say that you reduce a GST, that is going to hit GST Council tax hit, that it is going to straight hit the state treasury. Now you have to come out with a very, very logical framework that how it is going to create a multiplier effect on the economy, so that they are ready to buy your argument. And the last one, which was again reduced to 5% from 12% to 5%, that was again we were working on it. So this particular GST thing, it is in our focus, and of course this will be an added takeaway from this particular gathering, and let's see how we take it forward. So this is where we are, and now I think that this battery swapping policy, the release of the policy, because it is getting slightly, standards are slightly coming in the way, so we have to see that how to go about it, and it has to be decided at a relatively higher level, so that we have to get going on this. But yes, as far as the efficiency, as far as the safety and all those factors are concerned, they have been taken into consideration, they have been taken into account. Today also, the majority of the players and majority of the participants, they are on board with us. A few of them are not. It's okay. They have got their own logic. There's nothing to against it. But let's see that against the logic and the counter logic which is available, we have to weigh that what is it that is going to serve the national interest most. And that is what is going to be our option, as simple as that. But it's not that it will be a kind of steamrolling someone. It has to be kind of convincing someone that this is where our interests are best served, and this is how we are going to go ahead with it. As far as the business models are concerned, we decided again that we should be going to the professional people, those who are into both as a practitioners as well as those who are into academics, so IIMs and like those who are practicing also. So we got to them, we touch base with them, we try to find out that what models could be there so that, and now let me tell you that they have come out with wonderful models. But of course, that is never an exhaustive kind of thing. That cannot be exhaustive, that cannot be, that it has to be only an indicative model. But yes, the models that they have shared with us, they have given to us, that itself is very correct. As far as pushing this policy, it is very, very natural that incentives have to be embedded to it. Because without incentives, it may not work. So how to create that incentive structure, whether independent of fame or whether inside the fame, that has to be debated now. So that also will come out with it. So it is, as of now, of course, it is only the standard that is coming in the way. Otherwise, the policy, which I think it has been well appreciated, and the draft policy, we have got all the positive feedback. And then with respect to the standards, that is, I said, it's coming the way. But that policy can always be released, maybe with or without standards. Let's see how we go about it. But whatever it is, we will take a call, number one, very fast, and number two, whatever is serving the national interest most. So that is where I am. Thank you. Anything that you may like to ask, please? Please.
When you had your first few vehicles which were purchased by the government, you came up with your own set of chargers, and unfortunately or fortunately, those have been dumped by the wayside. Initial chargers were made with CHEDEMO. I have yet to see a single vehicle in India with CHEDEMO, but we have enough CHEDEMO chargers lying around doing nothing. Right? So the industry evolved and got its own set of things, simply what became popular. Right? So I think one worth thinking point for you guys at NITI Aayog is that why not just kind of give them the space to do that, right? You're right. I think form factor is a very far away thing. You may want to put standard, but nobody's going to follow them because it's just impractical from an industry perspective. Connectors definitely is an area which you guys should look into. And the other safety vagara things, I think there is no problem about that. Right? Communication protocol, definitely I am with you. But these are the two observations I have, sir. Not really a question, but just an observation. Thank you.
Point well taken, but there are other views also. Strong voice, but then he has no problem. What if I come closest to yours, then is again no problem. So the point is that, we have to see that how exactly go about. But yes, as I told you, that this was a scientific thing. We as at NITI, we are experts of policy. We are supposed to be knowing about policy, not the scientific integrity of it. So we've touched base with DST, and as I explained to you, they also talked to the experts, their own experts, and the only thing that we ensured was that the whole thing is taken forward in an absolutely transparent and impartial way. That is what I can vouchsafe, that is what has been done. Now, whatever finding is there, it appeals to someone, it doesn't appeal to someone. That is always the case. Yes. Anyone else?
Sudhendu, I just Aayog and Randeepji, you have been doing a fantastic job. I don't think people understand how much work, how much great work that NITI Aayog has done. I'm a big supporter, big fan of NITI Aayog. I think my personal view, and I think, I just want to say, I want to sing it, we've been working in this industry tirelessly. I think we do need to get some conformity. I think that to make, in this country, you just can never make everybody happy. If you start making everybody, somebody will have a connector, I think we need scale. And if we don't put this together as some sort of standard, then I think there's going to be a complete scale problem. So I think, in the words of new technology, and, I think we've got to start, we've got to build the ecosystem, and I would recommend this need to be done sooner than later. I think we've had a lot of, you'll never make everybody happy. I just don't see this ever, right? And so I think the sooner the better. I see Sun, I see Honda, I see Bounce, I see a lot of these people here. And I think we've just got to get it done. And I think once you get it done, let's build the ecosystem and see how it develops. And that's sort of my 2 cents. But again, a thank you to you and the entire NITI Aayog, at least from OSM and all the ecosystem of people that I continuously speak to. But I think we've got to get this done. Thank you.
Yes, I got your point. You see, in fact, majority of the startups, if you do not create a standard, we would never be into this space. Because there is somebody who has already taken a lead forward. And they would never, I mean, that situation would never come where only by improving upon the efficiency of the gadget or improving upon the efficiency of the services, we would ever be into the market. That is what they say. So they almost subscribe to the same way. We do not tend to make everybody happy, but we do believe that maximum happiness is the best choice, isn't it? Yes. Thanks.
I have a question. So you would agree, and as Priyank also highlighted, that interoperability would come with its own challenges. Because you will have so many CPUs like, a battery changing hand from a driver to another driver, from one CPU to other CPU. So along with the swapping policy, is there a regulatory framework or a legal framework also being thought that disputes, if any, how would they be handled, right?
No, as of now, of course, that has not been thought. But let me tell you that it was just a debate whether ICE is good or EV is good. So in 2 years at least, the conversation has matured to this level. So that those challenges would always be there, and let's see what are the ones which we can visualize and how those can be sorted out. Because what you are suggesting is it requires a lot of intergovernmental consultations, because Minister of Law and Justice is involved, Consumer Affairs is involved, even Department of Science Technology is involved. It requires a major kind of thinking through, and then only we can come to whether we go in for such regulatory authority, regulatory provisions or not. So that is. But yes, whatever is there, we'll take it forward. That is what we are there for. Yes, ma'am.
Phase 2 mandate, somewhere if you look at the asks of AIS, it seems like it is in contravention to the BIS guidelines, because fitting a particular cell chemistry in that set specification, keeping AIS requirements for cell spacing, being able to comply to the thermal propagation test, seems difficult. So wanted your views on that.
No, ma'am. The point is that we are not quality of this particular water within this bottle. I am just specifying the size of this bottle. That is all. You can say that tomorrow this will have more of oxygen. That's your choice. That is with you. That is why, in fact, we proved it also, that some of those who were opposing this particular standard thing, we told them that you have not changed your size. They cannot, you see. Once it is fixed, once they have been able to cover the market by 80 to 90%. Now, one fine morning, they can't say that now another size we will go in for. No. So within that size only, they are trying to improve upon. And we did try to establish that in the last 7 years, as I told you, they, especially the ones, a couple of them were there. So we told them that within these 7 years, you have improved your efficiency by 3x. You have altered the chemistry completely. It's completely new chemistry that you have thought of. Even the size of the cell, the packing structure, the alignment, everything you have changed. What you have not changed is the external form factor, because you knew it, that once you change it, the whole economics is going to be completely, haywire. That is what the point is. The standard where precisely the views are different. So it is not that the policy even they have agreed that, okay, these things are important, these things where you have done well. So all those things are there. Those compliments are always by our side.
Hello, sir. I am Aayog from EV Urja. So when you see tier 2, tier 3 cities, it's not always you have a big player over there. There are small partners who would like to do this business. But at the same time, you must see, like if we keep on upgrading the technologies or standardizing the things, the old will get ruined. Like their business will somehow affect the whole ecosystem. And this might also give an psychological impact to other retail investor who wants to jump into this business. So do NITI Aayog thinking in these line in tier 2, tier 3, where the financials are not that actively involved in the business? And this was my first part of the question. And second part was of the question is, there are many OEMs, you understand that there is many startup working in different domain, maybe manufacturing EV. So basically, when they manufacture any EV, they might get just to get approval fast, they might take approval for a low speed vehicle, right? But eventually when it comes into market, it is somewhere not a low speed. Trying to cut, like check to those company who are getting, like saying that they are manufacturing at this low speed vehicle, but eventually it is a high speed.
Now, the question that you asked, in fact, it has mixed up so many things
Yeah,
together.
so,
Let me try to unlock a couple of them. Our focus is very clear. We are against monopoly or cartelization. As simple as that. That is possible only when you give the consumer the complete freedom. That is why these standards, that is why this interoperability, that is why this policy, that's why the entire intervention is focused on this thing, that we are here not taking that you create a cartel and try to hijack his choice. He has got a free choice. Precisely that is what we are going in for. As far as the efficiency is concerned, naturally the consumer's choice will be on efficiency. If your battery, given the same framework, same form size, if it is of poor standard, and some company comes out with a different form factor, where the efficiency is high, naturally he will go for his choice. Even at the cost of so many disadvantages to him, he will go with his choice, not yours. Efficiency is always the first parameter. Efficiency and inefficiency also, safety is there. In addition to safety, so many things are there that the vehicular efficiency, those things have to be taken into consideration.
Sir, my question was, first part of the question was, what that actively involved, not much player are there. I'm not talking about from consumer perspective. Yes, they will opt for the better products and they will opt for the better things.
Yes, the point is, as of now, the entire swapping, it was explained in the last slide also, as of now, the entire ecosystem is at a nascent stage. So two debates can be there. Number one, it is just starting, so you lay down the standards, you come out with the policy, you fix everything, and then let's move on. That could be one. Another could be, no, let's mature on our own, and then at some subsequent stage, you come out, you take a call whether you want to go in for standards, you do not want to go in for standards. Those, we are on the same issue, both logic are equally potent. What we have to decide on is which one is going to serve best the national interest. And in our wisdom, whatever decision we take, that is what we are going to stand by. Okay? So thanks a lot. Thank you for giving a patient hearing.
Mr. Syed Fareed and Shri Ajay Sharma ji will present a memento to Shri Sudhendu J. Sinha.